I will grease you up. Very good. You have a very plump booty.
Well, Voice of Reason's got a point.
You have a very plump booty. I will grease you up. Very good. You have a very plump booty.
Well, Voice of Reason's got a point.
You have a very plump booty. I will grease you up. Very good. You have a very plump booty.
Well, Voice of Reason's got a point.
You have a very plump booty.
But I mean, like, what does it take for y'all to see through these people? I don't even understand it. Like, what's the point of even talking about it? I could have told you that dude was a goober tard, a goblin, a demon, and a goober tard.
The Council of Ephesus did not say that you cannot text a girl with a very plump booty. I will grease you up. Very good. You have a very plump booty.
Well, Voice of Reason's got a point.
You have a very plump booty. I will grease you up. Very good. You have a very plump booty.
Well, Voice of Reason's got a point.
You have a very plump booty.
I don't even want to spend any time in the loser sphere.
I was texting the plump booties. Could I send you some more texts?
I already told you it was a goober tard.
I can't believe that the losers were acting like the losers that they are. What? Losers were acting like losers?
I will grease you up. Very good. You have a very plump booty.
Well, Voice of Reason's got a point.
You have a very plump booty. I will grease you up. Very good. You have a very plump booty.
Well, Voice of Reason's got a point.
You have a very plump booty. The Council of Ephesus made an error when it said that you can't talk about plump booties. I would like a plump booty on my face. This is Voice of Reason.
Let's create new lives. Mormon space wives. Our God has a body. It's a very toned body. He looks good. Mormon space wives. Mormon space wives. Space sex. Space sex. Space sex. Magic underwear, fitting tight. Magic underwear, looking right. Mormon space wives, lords of color. Let me have intimacy with you on the planet of Naboo. Magic underwear fits so tight. Magic underwear feels so right.
Mormon space wives. Let's create lives. Mormon space wives. God the Father has a body. It's a very toned body. He looks good. Mormon space wives. Mormon space wives. Space sex. Space sex. Magic underwear fitting tight. Magic underwear is feeling right. Mormon space wives. Mormon space wives. Lords of Cola. I would like to have intimacies with you on the planet of Naboo. Mormon space wives. Magic underwear. Where? Right there. Mormon space wives. Let's create lives. Mormon space wives. God the Father has a body. It's a very toned body. He looks good. Mormon space wives. Mormon space wives. Space sex. Space sex. Magic underwear fitting tight. Magic underwear is feeling right. Mormon space wives. Mormon space wives. Lords of Cola.
Black kings, black bishops, black players, people of the chocolate persuasion. Black kings, black bishops, black players, people of the chocolate persuasion. Black kings, black bishops, black players, people of the chocolate persuasion. Black kings, black bishops, black players, people of the chocolate persuasion.
But the Dark Ages was a time when black people ruled Europe. So when you go into the real history, you'll see King James was...
That's King James right there. That's James LeBron. That's King LeBron right there.
black. He was not a white guy. You'll see his whole lineage of kings.
Black kings, black bishops, black players, people of the chocolate persuasion. Black kings, black bishops, black players, people of the chocolate persuasion. Black kings, black bishops, black players, people of the chocolate persuasion. Black kings, black bishops, black players, people of the chocolate persuasion.
Who was a homosexual himself, who was in love with his sister Lucretia, who they made the image of Lucretia to be Mary. And that became the Renaissance era.
Lucretia. So hold on, you telling me Lucretia? That's a black name right there. How you gonna say that the people that was framing the black people were also black? That don't make no sense. Lucretia's a black as hell name. Lucretia. The church even allowed it, you know what I'm saying? The church allowed for straight pimping. That have been suppressed. Listen to my brother. In the 1500s, it was legal to be a pimp. Black kings, black bishops, black players, people of the chocolate persuasion. Black kings, black bishops, black players, people of the chocolate persuasion.
I was born in Romania in a Christian family, Pentecostal. I was born in Romania in a Christian family, Pentecostal.
That's a damn church right there. That's time for the church, son. We
about to have an eyes wide shut church party in the basement. That's what they call an after party. Y'all ever heard of the after party? You know what I'm saying?
I was born in Romania in a Christian family. Pentecostal. I was born in Romania in a Christian family. Pentecostal.
I put my key in the ignition. I'm fresh out the kitchen. I put my key in the ignition.
I'm fresh out the kitchen.
Sipping on coke and rum. I'm like, so what, I'm drunk. It's a freaking weekend, baby. We about to have some church.
I was born in Romania in a Christian family. Pentecostal. I was born in Romania in a Christian family. Pentecostal.
That's a damn church right there. Oh yeah, what's up all you pimps, players, hustlers, and 304s? It's time for church. And today, it's very appropriate that we talk about church. Randy Ball style, why is that? Because we're going to talk about what the real problem is in our country. The real problem with the evangelical nonsense, which is twofold. Number one is an inauthentic Christianity. That doesn't mean that the people involved are all insincere or inauthentic. It means that the public manifestation of the religion in those groups as institutions is inauthentic, meaning that it doesn't have any authority, historical pedigree, or basis for why it is what it is and why it does what it does. It is a ahistorical, self-appointed, sectarian split. And as a result, it's fallen into two chief heresies, one of which is Judaizing, the idea that Christian Zionism is the authentic expression of the goal of Christianity, to worship and support the nation state of Israel, which is a modern socialist creation at all costs. And if you don't, you're sticking your finger in the apple of God's eye or whatever they think it is. I once believed this heresy as a child growing up, not knowing any better, in Baptist circles, believing that the prophecies of the Old Testament are all about the secular nation state as it exists today. As I learned the Bible and biblical theology more closely, more intently, in a deeper way, I learned that, you guys can hear me, right? We're not having any sound problems. I learned that the church is the fulfillment of what Israel is a type. And so to go back to Israel, to go back to an Old Testament reality, would be retrograde. It would be a move backwards. And this is what Paul stresses in Galatians 3, throughout the book of Hebrews, and in other places. Do you like this little guy here? We have a new little guy. Little guy, hey little guy, how you doing? He's supposed to be pink, but he ain't coming through he ain't coming through with the right colors. You know what I'm saying? Him colors all mixed up. All right. So with those two ideas in mind, we're going to talk about the idols of today, the idols that are the real root of all of the Charlie Kirk stuff. Why do I say it's idols? Because in order to believe all the stuff that we're told about America, Americanism, etc., one must have other things as their priority over the truth, over what is geopolitically, historically, biblically, etc., canonically the case. You have to put something else first, your own intellect, your own monetary pedigree, whatever it is, that has to come first in order to fall for these kinds of low-tier scams. So you have to be oftentimes uneducated, you have to be simple-minded, you have to be naive and gullible, and many evangelicals are beyond naive and gullible. They're, whatever the level is beyond that, they will believe anything. So what we have to understand is that there are powerful forces who have, as we pointed out many times in live streams and podcasts in the last several years, pushed on the West, pushed on America, the idea of dispensationalism, the Scofield Study Bible, all forms of Judaizing. And as you know, on my channel, we've recently covered the Jewish theologian who is behind crafting Nostra Aetate, the gay Jewish Catholic priest who then was defrocked or left the priesthood or something, is the architect of Nostra Aetate, the famed document on interreligious ecumenical doctrine, something that Leo has referenced many times in his brief pontificate. Mormon space wives. I think coming out of the week, that one was the song that stuck in my head the most. Mormon space wives. And although I do like my sort of David Bowie, John Mouse version, I have to say, and I'm not a huge fan of AI stuff, the AI Mormon space wives it's difficult to get out of my head. Mormon space wives, let's create new lives. So my take, and we are going to dive into some of this lore about Charlie Kirk, Erika Kirk, TPUSA, Calvary Chapel, and the big event, and Candace's accounts, and all the media meltdowns, because it seems to have become the thing. The whole world is talking about this. So sometimes you have to talk about these things, even if you don't want to. I don't really follow the day-to-day news stuff. And honestly, I haven't followed much of this. But because the entire internet's talking about it, I feel forced to do. So I went and I watched the last 4 episodes of Candace's show to see exactly what she was arguing. Because I don't see her show every day, or I just see clips. It's the same actually with most people in the media sphere. I see clips of Tucker. I see clips of Candace. I see clips of whoever. Hosting the 4th hour of Lord Voldemort, I end up seeing the most of Alex, but generally that is just the first hour, depending upon who the guest is. The Dugan interview was interesting this week. I did repost my old banned and censored Dugan interview because I thought it was a good discussion. And I'm adamant since day one interviewing him that I disagree with some of his Gnostic views. And so it seems to me like, in a culture of mature discussion and debate, that should be sufficient. It should be sufficient to say, I don't agree with him on everything, but I want to have a conversation because he's kind of like, I don't know, the Brzezinski of Russia, or perhaps at one time, maybe not as influential nowadays. Who knows? But no, even talking to a person, even having an interview, any of that is all sus. It means you're an agent. Everyone's an agent. So we got to get past all the schizo stuff. Okay, not everybody's an agent. In fact, probably most people aren't, and are just trying to figure stuff out, and they get things wrong, right? They're at different spots on the journey, so they're going to get stuff wrong. But it is possible also that there are people in media for sure that are agents. For example, we all know, or maybe many of us don't know, Anderson Cooper spent time as an intern out of college, out of, I think, Vanderbilt, with the CIA. So I think you can say, okay, Anderson Cooper is a clear example of a journalist who has a very clear, obvious CIA connection. And there are, many more journalists who've been embedded with the CIA, embedded, via, cover with Al Qaeda, with the CIA or whatever, right? So this is not a new thing. And there are people that are, groomed for media spots, sure. The problem is that, as one of the lawyers
everywhere
noted about Candace's take,
Andrew Colvin.
the problem is that you can't.
We talked about
The main thing is that you can't assert something to be the case without evidence. That's the thing that really opens you up to be incriminated. Because if you don't have evidence, then it becomes libel or slander, and particularly in regard to a crime, right? So in other words, if I would say, Professor, Schneebel-Schnabel is a PDF. Okay, what's the evidence of that? Well, I don't have any, but that's what I think. Okay, well, you don't have proof that Professor Schneebel-Schnabel is, and so you can't assert criminal activities. That's another, I think, key issue, is that when you assert criminal activities without any substance. But if you say things like, it's my opinion that so-and-so is a creeper, a PDF, that kind of stuff, that's a safer grounds. That's why a lot of times in media people say, allegedly. Okay, he was allegedly at a Diddy party, okay? And you can derive what you want to from that, okay, Joe? He was at that, ain't nobody going in my booty hole. Okay, that is safe grounds. So you have to be careful in this domain, and people are wondering, okay, well, did Candace cross the line? And so we're going to be looking at some of what's going on. And here's the thing. Probably we're not going to exactly figure out what happened. In a lot of these high-profile events, which I've studied for a couple decades, most of my close, intelligent associates and friends and comrades, and they've all studied these things for many years as well. We can have a lot of good questions, but a lot of times we don't get all the answers. So we may not have ever a perfect total theory and analysis and perfect proof of exactly what went down in the day of the biggest assassination since JFK. But first of all, to not be able to ask questions is highly suspect. Why not? Why can we ask questions of MLK, JFK, RFK, but no, don't talk about this one because you're mean? Well, that to me immediately raises suspicions, because, and I'm not saying that I know or have any proof about Erika Kirk. I don't know. My point is just simply that when people immediately come with the emotional appeal, that's a red flag to me. Not necessarily that we know who did it, but that, well, we're not supposed to look at this or care about this. We're just supposed to move on, shut up and move on. Don't talk about it. Who are you? You're just an internet sleuth. Oh, really? Well, a lot of internet sleuths were correct about the Boston Marathon Muslim CIA dude. A lot of internet sleuths were correct about the Koof. So that's a meaningless pejorative, a meaningless weaponized term, just like, the term conspiracy theorist, which is a weaponized CIA term out of the JFK assassination event. Same thing going on here. It's like, well, who are you to tell me I can't ask questions about it? But again, although we'll look at some of the stuff, and I'm going to comment on what I think is kind of stupid. Like when people do all this like body language analysis, they'll look at the way Erika Kirk's face changes when Candace is met. Well, yeah, she doesn't like her. Like, what is that? How is that going to, like, duh. Obviously your body language is going to change when somebody mentions somebody you can't stand. I mean, duh. But what does that prove? Absolutely nothing. So people love to speculate. They love the most outlandish stuff. Remember all the Q-tard crap? I said day one that they were mixing in real stuff with fake stuff with PIZZ pizza stuff, okay? And I said they're going to throw in a bunch of retarded crap. And retarded boomers for the last 8-10 years, they're still boomers following the Q oracle. They're still shamanic the Q shamans out there dropping boomer decoder ring ciphers and, nonsense that boomers think that they're going to decode because Trump's got it all. I mean, this still exists, okay? And people fell for that without level-headed, clear thinking. So the same thing can happen here. People are falling for stuff when they don't really have good reason. And I'm not specifically talking about Candace. I'm saying like jumping to crazy conclusions about body language. I just don't think that's very convincing. Even that CIA dude who's not trustworthy.
The investigative process.
Obviously, he's very untrustworthy. But Andrew Bustamante is like, body language doesn't really tell you anything. Like, unless it's really extravagant or, unless you're over here like, like if somebody mentions, did you kill your enemy? And it happens to be my enemy that's assassinated. And I start going, right? Then we'll probably know I did it because I'm acting like a monkey. That's that monkey body language, that monkey evidence. There's a banana hanging down between these trees, and I'm busted like Matt Dillon monkeys. So let's get to some of this, and we're going to let all the journalists, the hardcore journalists, have already done the digging. But I will say that going into the last, 4 episodes of Candace, I'm really not getting, I don't understand. I don't know that anybody knows what's going on. And I think that's the point that she's raising is why can't I ask these questions about Erika Kirk? And it's all cloaked behind, well, you shouldn't question a widow, which, why not? I mean, I get that, like, if this person was grieving, this person doesn't seem to be daily grieving, though. That's the other thing, too, is like people are immediately back to media work, not a lot of grieving. So let's see what Kim Iverson is saying about this. And by the way, I don't agree with all these journalists. We're just going to look at several different journalists and their takes and analyze it and see what we come away with.
Following Erika Kirk. So if you've been following along with
Now, this is all the plane stuff, okay? Candace keeps asking the question of why were all of these Egyptian planes following Erika and I guess by extension Charlie for years? And this seems to be something unanswered and unknown. And, people have said it's nothing, it's meaningless, it's just flight log gibberish data. Tucker is now saying, no, there is something to it. So Tucker is interestingly backing Candace on this point.
Candace Owens and her investigation.
I'm not sure what it's supposed to mean. I mean, perhaps this is security, some form of security, high profile security detail. They hired Egyptian security. It could be contracted out to somebody else. It's hard to say. But she makes a great point, too, that, Israel pushes the U.S. to be one of the top funders of the Egyptian government. I think Egypt is number 2 or whatever after Israel, getting all of our tax money. And she points out that that's so that Egypt will stay in line in relation to Israel. So let's see what she says.
And it's gotten it's gone kind of wild. It's gone from, we were looking at Israel and Egyptian planes, and now it's gone to France, and maybe the Macron's trying to kill her and trying to kill Charlie Kirk. It's gone in definitely a lot of interesting directions. But Tucker Carlson does verify a couple of facts from Candace Owens' investigation. Here he is.
Who was Charlie Kirk?
Yep.
Oh,
Yep.
really?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And I love his wife and know his wife well. And so I feel emotional about it. So, I just haven't wanted everything to.
It's interesting that Tucker went on Theo Vaughn to reveal this. I'm not sure. I mean, people are acting like Tucker's confirmed it as if that proves that it is the case. Well, that just means Tucker has seen evidence or himself believes it to be the case. I'm not saying Tucker's wrong or lying. I'm just saying it doesn't prove anything. But it's interesting that people are now taking sides in alternative media on every topic. And it's also interesting that conspiracy topics, which we've talked about for 15, 20 years, are now everywhere. That's all the internet talks about. Everything is a conspiracy theory. Not saying that's bad. I'm saying like this is what I've been here talking about for a long time. So, okay, I'm sorry that you're saying the video that I'm playing is loud, or I'm too loud
with it. But I will say a couple of things. I don't understand the official story at all.
Of his assassination.
I don't understand.
No, I'm not acting like it's nothing. I'm saying I'm not sure what this shows yet. My guess is, my first thought would be, okay, it's some sort of security detail type of plane or something. And I'm not saying that proves or disproves anything. I'm just trying to analyze this. As I told you guys, I've not followed this lore, and everyone is talking about planes, and I just don't even know what this is going to prove. Even if you do figure out, I mean, it could prove that there was some sort of hit team. Sure, like it could go in that direction.
Understand it, and I want to make sure that there is a truly rigorous and honest federal investigation of it, and I'm definitely concerned about that.
I don't know what the planes will prove, although they could prove something. But there's nothing wrong with asking, hey, Kash Patel, like why have we not gotten good answers on any of this stuff? And it's the same, FBI that's done not a very good job and appears to have not wanted the Epstein stuff to come out. And probably because of the threat that Mossad, British intelligence, CIA would retaliate drastically were the compromising Epstein stuff to actually all be released. That would be my guess. But also don't overlook the fact that people don't have to be compromised or paid $7,000 a tweet or whatever. There's a gigantic portion of the public that are dumb, including boomer people, including boomers and administrations who believe evangelical Zionism. So they don't have to be paid off. They can actually believe this stuff.
A. B. I think that I don't know many of the details, but I know that recently Candace said that Egyptian registered aircraft were following Erika Kirk, Charlie's widow, around for a number of years in different places in the world. That's one of the weirdest things I've ever heard, and I just want to say that is factually true. That's true. So that's like...
So I'm assuming Tucker is saying this either because someone that works in something like this has confirmed it for him, or there's some sort of public registered flight log thing, right? Now, I think there was a response from Crowder about the planes, which I will play in a second.
The one data point that I happen to know is true.
Okay, let's look at those planes briefly here. So this is one of the planes that Candace Owens has been claiming that there's been 2 Egyptian planes that have been following Erika Kirk, one of them being the yellow SUBTT and the blue SUBND. So this is the BND. This is registered to the Egyptian government, and so is this one, which is very bizarre. And these 2 planes, you could track them online. I mean, you could use various flight trackers and track them, and they are registered to the Egyptian government. And it doesn't necessarily mean that the Egyptian government is actually using these planes and the Egyptians were the ones following Erika Kirk around. It could have been, I mean, Egypt is, for one, the second largest recipient of funds, aid from the United States. And that is because Israel has asked us to do that. So Israel has been the #1 recipient of funds. Egypt is the second largest recipient of funds, and that is at the behest of Israel in order to keep the Egyptians in line, to ensure that there aren't wars between Egyptians and Israel, to keep Egypt basically on a leash. The United States gives them a ton of money so that the Israelis feel safe and happy. That's one of the problems that many of us have with the nation building project of Israel, is that it's sucking up our resources, and we're doing things like giving the Egyptians a bunch of money for no real good reason. Nothing that benefits the United States anyway. So it is possible that these planes registered to the Egyptian government are used by others. It could be used by intel organizations, used by maybe other governments, because Egypt is working with various different partners. Okay, so that being said, let's continue on with, let me see if I can get back to where we were. Unfortunately, kind of reset.
So again, I mean, you could have, I mean, I don't think this would be some sort of, I mean, if this was some sort of hit team, they wouldn't be openly following them for years. I don't know what it would mean. And yeah, it's entirely possible that it could be it could be the Mossad, it could be CIA using an Egyptian plane too. It could be all these different things. There's just so many different possibilities. Who knows exactly what's going on?
Okay, here we go.
But it is odd, and I don't see why it's wrong to ask these questions.
Data point that I happen to know is true. What does that mean? I have literally no idea.
The other thing too is all of the Zyocon people are the ones that are making the biggest stink. Not exclusively. I know there's plenty of people who are not necessarily Zyocon who also disagree. But it is interesting that the entire internet is mad at Sweet Candy over here. And that is a different issue from whether or not the questions are fair. Right?
Can't even guess, but that's very, very strange.
And what is Egyptian? It could mean aircrafts from Egypt. Who knows?
I think that they were registered in Egypt.
Got it.
And but that fact is true. So enough. And it also her claim that there were kind of a disproportionately large number of foreign registered cell phones at the event. That's also true. So
I think the other thing too is that this ties more specifically into the overall point that I want to make today, which is about the idols of America, evangelical, Zionist, dispensational theology. That is the real thing that they don't want America's religious base to break from. If that breaks, then the support for Netanyahu, Gaza, all of that collapses, right? Because they have to make sure that the retard evangelicals believe that the nation state of Israel is God's church. I mean, let's just say that's default how these idiot evangelicals think of the nation state of it. They think that that's really the church because they don't have a church and they're ahistorical. They're defaulting to their Judaizing heresy, basically. That's the real root of all of this. All of this stuff is secondary issues, window dressing stuff. I'm not saying that the assassination is irrelevant or window dressing. I'm saying that the real issue behind all this is America going to continue supporting fake conservative Zyocon stuff, or is it going to wake up and stop giving all of our tax money to basically an organized crime state?
What does that add up to? I don't know, but it means that the FBI has a moral and legal obligation to look in every direction and to be open-minded as you would in any investigation, in journalism, in science. It's all the same process. I don't know the answer, and I'm going to sift through everything as open-mindedly as I can, as honestly as I can, to get to what the truth is. That's science, that's law enforcement, that's journalism. It's all the same. That's justice. And I just want to make sure that is happening. And I just don't have a ton of confidence in the FBI or the men who run it. And I'm not.
That's the big thing. That's the problem with just accept what the official story is. Well, but this is coming from people who have already established a track record with the fake Epstein binders and the fake Epstein releases of not giving us real stuff. So why are we going to believe them on this? Right? The same people saying, oh, there's no problem with H-1B Infinity Indians. That's not an issue. Why are you mad about that? Right? Oh, well, I guess they're going to tell us the truth about a high-profile assassination, man. Come on, dude. This is silly.
Saying that out of ignorance.
And it has nothing to do with, that has nothing to do directly. That question has nothing to do with Erika Kirk. That's separate issue, right? By the way, and it doesn't mean Candace is not. What if for the sake of argument, her motives are bad? Let's say if Candace has totally bad motives, it's also possible for her to be correct or to ask legitimate questions, and she have bad motives. I don't have any stake in that game. I don't have any take. I'm neutral on most of the face lords. Because I don't have time to follow the lore and the drama of the Face Lords because, well, I make my own content. I have a life. I don't follow all the drama of other people. But I am interested when the entire world starts to talk about something.
At all.
That's a scary part too.
What Candace...
By the way, I can criticize Candace too, being a person, being a POC. Being a BIPOC allows me a lot more freedom. Identifying as a black person, I can criticize Candace. I can say when Sweet Candy's right, and I can say when Sweet Candy is damn wrong. And can't nobody do nothing about it neither.
Saying is clearly causing a lot of turmoil. Is it true or not? I can't assess it. I'm not the FBI. I'm a freaking podcaster, but I do know how the system works, and it's really simple. The FBI has this case, and of course the state of Utah. It's their job to not only find out what happened, but present it to the public in a way that restores some confidence that you can like have justice in this country, that we have functioning law enforcement. I don't have confidence in that because there's a lot of evidence that we don't have that. So restore confidence by being honest and telling a story that makes sense.
Yeah, so I come at this as a philosopher, a philosophy-minded person. I'm looking for logical argumentations, not drama, not emotional appeals. When I see the standard evangelical line of trying to seemingly manipulate people with a lot of tears and all this and that, and we got hundreds of millions of dollars involved, I'm already suspicious. And that's my point here, is to go beyond the drama and beyond the things, the details that nobody's ever going to... we'll probably never figure out. Nobody will ever know what the actual story of Egyptian plains is. Okay. And I know this because of the way that so much information from 9/11, the big 9 event, like a lot of that stuff we just don't know. We'll never figure out. It's never going to be probably known unless somebody actually does know and comes forward or something like that. But like the issue behind all of this is, wait a minute. TPUSA is an entity, an organization that funds and supports people out of Calvary Chapel, out of New Apostolic Reformation, entities that people that claim that they are new appointed prophets and the new apostles. That's all I need to know right there, that this is fraudulent, fake, and gay bullshit. That's all I need to know. I don't need to know every single TPUSA pastor's motives. I don't need to see their bank accounts. I don't need to see that. I already know. Get that out of here. It's fake and gay. It's a scam. And because anybody talking about trying to be an apostle, and we already did a whole live stream on this. Any of these Calvary Chapel goobers, the whole Calvary Chapel is a military industrial complex created church. It's fake and gay. Its founders are themselves actually gay dudes. Several of them. CIA operatives, people working with channeling aliens, the craziest bullshit you've ever heard. Okay. Now, people would say that I'm crazy talking about that, but those are the people who would actually believe the Calvary Chapel bullshit. Go look into the history of the Calvary Chapel. We've done in 10 years, probably 7 podcasts on the history of the Calvary Chapel. I'm not going to repeat all that. Go look into it. It's retarded, dude. If you believe that, then you are dumb. You don't have any discernment. If you can't see through people claiming to be apostles with Acts 2 powers, a new apostolic reformation, all this gibberish, it's obviously a grift. And that's the thing. Evangelicalism is a church grift. That's what I'm saying. Why is it also a grift? Because it's Judeo-Christian Zionist grift. Almost all of it. That doesn't mean there aren't sincere people. But the problem is that it's the sincere grannies that send Joel Osteen and Kenneth Copeland their money. It's the sincere people that are the funding engine for these scammers, grifters, money launderers, con artists, cult leaders, you name it. I'm talking about the evangelical world.
So why, and if they don't do that, and they haven't done that, they have not done that, how can you be mad at Candace Owens or anyone else for filling a vacuum that they left?
Yeah.
well, Candace was okay. No, the people with the authority are the ones responsible, and they're the ones who should be held responsible when there's a failure. Not some podcaster, not me, not you, not Candace, the people whose job it is.
I seem to remember other events that how dare you hurt the families for talking about or questioning. Interesting. There was on the Big Nine, there was shaming of people who would ask questions. How dare you? How dare you? Another event, there was shaming. How dare you question this event? How dare you? Well, it's a question of fallacy of authority. Would you rather have a situation where there's a fallacy of authority, right? Where you just are supposed to accept what they say and it doesn't matter what you think and it doesn't matter there's questions, you just accept it. Is that world better than a world where, okay, yeah, you can have some grifters that question everything? I'd rather have the world where there's a few schizo, retarded conspiracy people versus the world where no one can ask any questions about events and you just accept whatever known liars for decades tell you. I mean, who's really more damaging? And that's the thing about the piety signaling, the moral, fagging, the one-upping, all of that. It's like, well, who's actually the one that's more dangerous in these scenarios? The establishment with all the guns and the weapons and the power and the bioweapons and all the taxation powers, or a handful of internet retarded schizos? Like, who's the real threat here?
Oh, clearly the radicalized internet schizos are the real problem.
Just like the ortho bros are the real problem in the Orthodox Church world. It's not dozens of liberal bishops and clergy throughout the world or whatever. That's not the real problem. It's not pushing Skittles on kids. No, it's ortho bros who want to debate on the internet. The central, just like the FBI says that white supremacists are the #1 terror threat in America. Not all of these insane Somali Islamic imported goblins. No, that's not. The real threat is white people. You notice in every situation, the left and the establishment and their lackeys, the fake right wing, always make the worst people into the Christian conservative white men. That's the worst person on the planet, even though everyone knows that the actual on the ground reality in the world is the opposite. And the whole system is constructed on these lies. Okay, let's get back to Tucker here, and then we'll open it up to calls with John. Did you want to say something since you're in the quay here? The Q, the quay, the qua, que. You're in the queef, John. Go ahead. All right, he can't connect. We'll see what Tuck says.
And their default assumption was we acted alone. Really? Why do you think that? What about life?
John, did you want to say something? Unmute. Are you there? We can't hear you, dog.
Suggests that people typically act alone. When was the last time you acted alone in anything? I don't go, right? So A. B.
I think Tucker's point was that why is it always this narrative of a lone gunman, right? It's like, well, if it is a lone gunman, and it could be, that is possible. If it's a lone gunman, then why were there all of these other trans advocates saying that Charlie Kirk will regret what happens in the next few days, right? I mean, why? That's a fair question. That's like, as Tucker points out, it's no different than saying, well, how did these certain people know to place shorts before 9/11, right? To benefit from the events beforehand.
We know that people had foreknowledge of this because they posted about it on X and said Charlie Kirk is going to be killed on this date, and he was.
Is that true?
Yes, it's true.
But were they just guessing? Was it a guessing thing where every day they posted that?
Maybe. Have those people been interviewed? Have they been hauled into FBI HQ and had a long conversation with how they knew that? Like, let's get really specific. Why did you post that? Who have you talked to? Like, if I were doing this investigation, because I spent my whole life doing non-criminal investigations called journalism, like, what do we know is true? How do we find out? Call everybody, be open-minded. It's like it's the same process. If I was doing this investigation, they would be at the very top of the list. We know, because we've got public postings on Twitter that people know, just like on 9/11, we know people bet against American Airlines and the banks that were in the World Trade Centers. They shorted those stocks. Those people clearly had foreknowledge of 9/11. Who were those people? We still don't know. So I would start there.
But so you're saying that just the fact that there could possibly be some foreknowledge should be investigated?
Well, there was foreknowledge because I saw the tweets. And so I saw at least two that said, everything's going to change when Charlie Kirk gets to.
Yeah, I mean, I saw that. Everybody saw that as well, I think, if they remember.
The college in Utah.
Okay.
So those people, I'm not saying they're part of a conspiracy, but there's evidence that they had foreknowledge. Okay, so that's where you begin. And then I could go on. Like, tell me how this guy who seemed normal became a radical trans furry murderer?
Well, I don't see why that is implausible. That seems very plausible. People go to college and get radicalized every day.
It's not enough to tell me, oh, trans.
By the way, I don't agree with everything that Tucker says. I totally disagree with Tucker's take on Roger Ver and Bitcoin Cash. I disagree with some of Tucker's takes on his ideas of what's going on with alien stuff. So I don't have any problem disagreeing at times with Tucker. So he's just a Tucker cucker. He's a Tucker cuck. I don't follow any of the face lords. I have my own information and stuff that I do. I just found this interesting in the last few days because the entire freaking internet is only talking about this. So you cannot get away from it. If you log into Twitter, all you see is people talking about, Candace and what's going on with her, and everybody's react. So there's no way around this. Like, might as well talk about it since the whole freaking world's talking about it.
I'm not pro-trans, by the way.
But was that the guy or his boyfriend?
Well, exactly right. Tell me how this guy became so radicalized that he murdered a stranger. I'm not saying it didn't happen. I'm saying I want an explanation.
Yeah, I mean, you can easily, through your passions, be demonized and within a few years of college or a few months of college, be converted into some goblin.
Explanation for how it happened. Why wouldn't I?
I agree.
But why do people like Candace so much? She's an amazing broadcaster. Yes. Because they sense in her, she might be wrong. Is she lying to me? Not on purpose. They sense the purity of her intent. That's the truth. And I can say, as someone who's dealt with government officials my whole life, I'm not vouching for everything Candace claims. I don't even know a lot of what she claims because I'm working on other stuff. And it makes me sad also. But the point is, do I trust Candace more than I trust your average DOJ official? Are you joking? It's not even close, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah. Skippy Red says for $2, this will snowball into another Voldemort situation. I was just thinking that because I saw some lawyers commenting that it's plausible that Candace, the lawyer was saying that she might have overstepped the line with implying or casting it like all of these people were involved in the assassination without hard evidence. Now, I'm not saying that she doesn't have evidence. Maybe she does. And she's actually, because she does this thing where she tends to act like she has this stuff and to wait to see if people challenge her on it. And then she drops it, right? Text messages or whatever. So maybe she has some incriminating evidence that somebody gave her or something. That's possible. Or perhaps, this is a situation where the TPUSA and Erika Kirk will argue that she went over the line and said too much in terms of implication, because as we said at the beginning of the live stream, you can say, allegedly this happened, or it's my opinion that these people are, creeps or whatever, but you can't say someone is guilty of criminal activity if you don't have proof. That's where the legal where you can be called into question legally.
Okay, let's look at the tweets that he's talking about. So there are people that had foreknowledge of what was going on with Charlie Kirk. We've all learned the hard way that when tech companies say they care about privacy, they reach to you by giving away your most personal. This one right here says, funny if someone like Charlie Kirk got shot on September 10th, LMAO.
This is one of the trans posters, if you guys remember from back when the event happened. This was like a day or two before.
And this was posted September 3rd. This person, this is an image that this person is saying Donald Trump, December 14th. And then this person said, it'd be funny if somebody like Charlie Kirk got shot on September 10th, LMAO. And that was posted on September 3rd. Here is another image. This one here saying, oh, sorry. Maybe I got these mixed up here. Okay. No, I got those mixed up. I'm sorry. I can't see. It's too small. And I'm actually, and retweeting himself. So people seem to have foreknowledge. This is the only 4 that we could find right now. A lot of them have been scrubbed from the internet. But the 2 important ones that I wanted to show you there are there. And that's the one from Omar and Osamu. And now they're trying to change, and there's Egyptian planes that just happen to be there. But then they eventually flip the script and say, oh, it was just these trans furries. It's like they were looking for which narrative is the public going to buy? Who are they?
So let's take a pause here for a second, and I want to see. I'm trying to remember what Crowder's response. I think you made a video responding to some of the plane stuff.
Calcutta Boulevard. They already did. They did in Israel. They gave them freaking boulevard. It's like as soon as they give you a boulevard and a holiday, they definitely killed you. Okay, there's no question. They killed you. There's no way. That's like their signature thing. It's like that's what they do. It's the Fed signature. It's how they sign off after they murder you.
Candace Owens is an evil cunt. Just as I was about to go live on air, I was made aware, and you guys can correct me if I'm getting anything wrong, because this is coming in live. Candace Owens outright saying, and I want to be careful with my words here because she's not, and I know she'll give herself an out and say that's not what I was implying. But you watch this clip in its entirety, and it seems pretty blatant that she's saying, and people are interpreting it this way, which is also important, that the Trump administration, not whatever it was, we went from underground Jew tunnels, Mossad, the Trump administration killed Charlie Kirk.
I just really needed to just take a breather and really process everything that happened with Charlie and what it kind of means in terms of where we are. And I think it is a circumstance where we just know that he was truly betrayed.
I'm trying to figure out if this is the video where he talks about the planes. There was a response he made on the planes. I can't remember if this is it or not.
In one of the most egregious ways that
I would say that Candace does seem to go from one conspiracy to the next, which I think can be if she wanted to have more credibility with what she's trying to argue, then she should kind of not just go from one conspiracy to the next, because that makes it look like it's all over the place. You know what I mean? I'm just giving my attempt at an objective critique. Yeah, I just talked about Tucker talking about the airplanes. The Egyptian planes. We literally just covered that like 2 minutes ago.
I think I've ever seen. It has made me lose faith in politics. It has made me fully lose faith in Trump. And my heart aches for the fact that he gave so much of his life to Trump and to politics. And they just were like, nope, that is it. It serves us or it doesn't serve us, and we want to move on. And so here's a holiday. Bro, if they try to give me a holiday, what is with them giving people a holiday after they kill them? Why is that a thing? You know what I mean? Like, oh, Martin Luther King, what about this holiday? What about this boulevard? Anyways, let me knock it off. Like, they're going to give Charlie Kirk a boulevard. They already did. They did in Israel. They gave him freaking boulevard. It's like, as soon as they give you a boulevard and a holiday, they definitely killed you. Okay, there's no question. They killed you. There's no way. That's like their signature thing. It's like that's what they do. It's the Fed signature.
I mean, this is not the best argument. I mean, there could be some points to that. There could be something to this, but I mean, I don't think Israel killed James Jesus Angleton. He was just such an Israel-phile that they gave him a, well, I think they named several things after Angleton, right? But also it was involved in aiding Israel in that operation. According to the JFK documents that came out, last year, there was a relationship between him and Israel in a backdoor channel to give information and intel to the Mossad. So, but that doesn't mean that they necessarily killed him. So, I mean, this is just it's not a very solid line of argumentation.
Currently sign off after they murder you. You're like Holiday in a boulevard. And it's never on a nice side of town either. Like Charlie Kirk Boulevard is not going to be a nice side of town. Anyways, I will be back on the 27th, you guys.
Charlie Kirk Boulevard is going to be in the Israel ghetto. Is that like that's where all the Israeli players? That's going to be in a damn ghetto over there. Does Israel have a ghetto? Like, are there that many is there even black people in Israel to have a ghetto? I don't even know.
Thank you guys for all the support throughout these couple of weeks.
Hey, dude, I'm over here on Charlie Kirk Boulevard. Man, I got pulled over there. They racist, man. Them cops racist on Charlie Kirk Boulevard. Okay. I thought this was a video where he talks about the planes. I'm not sure
about it. Because you know who else would have to be involved? And this is the implication, of course, by design. And you can see the response with people out there saying, oh, well, then anyone who's close to, yeah, this is an inside job. You know who's really close to President Trump? And you know who people are now saying stood to gain? Well, Charlie's wife, Erika Kirk, who has now been put, Candace, with that language, with this accusation, has put the wife of Charlie Kirk, and she'll say, that's not what I tried to do. It is. It's the result. Erika Kirk.
So now it has progressed to this, which led to Tim Pool having a crash out.
Candace Owens hated Charlie Kirk. And I was surprised to hear this, but I received a tip. Several prominent conservatives have confirmed to me and my crew that Candace Owens had been going around shortly before he died, within the months before his death, saying that she hated him. Now, I wonder if she really hated him. Maybe she was just scornful, second wife syndrome. Maybe she actually really loved him, but when he chose Erika over her, she became resentful and angry.
I mean, it's crazy how this is all now turned into like face lord drama. We went from high profile political assassination and now it's like face lord drama. You know what I mean? But again, whether you like Candace or not, she figured out how to crack the code of media. And like, I guess Alex did this a long time ago. Like, you put yourself into the story and then you become the story. Insert yourself into the story and then you're the story. Whether you like it or not, that's where it's at. And that's how media works. I don't really like that. It says, you know, that unfortunately most people are not intelligent and they would much rather watch daytime TV drama, right? Versus actually trying to get to the truth. But that's fallen humanity. Fallen humanity is always going to love Jerry Springer over, you know, I don't know, reading. People will, 1 million people watch Jerry Springer. 2 people are going to read your 500-page book on 9/11. Right? Literally, nobody can even read anymore, dude. Like, nobody's going to read a 100-page book. I call all the people that have taken over what do you mean face lord? That's my joke. We were joking about this in Jamie's chat the other day, like attack of the face lords. Okay. Even in apologetics, dude, remember like in apologetics, if you go back to say the era of like 2008 to 2017, okay, apologetics online was dominated by very academic, very scholarly stuff. And from about the last 2 to 3 years, that's gone. There's no more high tier apologetic stuff that deals with academic stuff. It is all literal low tier Jerry Springer level stuff. Look at, for example, the garbage that Trent Horn tried to offer up as a refutation of orthodoxy. It's just low. And then the response, when I put up clips, the 30-second clips that I put up laughing at Trent Horn are full of Roman Catholics,
a Latino's gonna tell them, oh, look at this dude, man, he's freaking dumb, dude. Look at this dire dude. You just believe what the Pope says when the Pope says it, bro. What's the problem with that?
It's like all just 80 IQ now. It's all 30-second. It's been TikTokized. And I blame Voice of Sleazen because he grew his TikTok with just crap 30, 60-second. They have TikTokized apologetics to be 80 IQ people just repeating garbage anytime you make serious argumentation. So in the dozens of comments of Roman Catholics when I put my Instagram reel up, none of them, not one of them could even understand what the argument was about epistemology. Just looking for what's the epistemic standard for when it's papally binding, when it's not.
Bro, what the fuck you talking about, dude? Hey, I say freaking like the Pope or whatever, dude. Just follow the Pope, dude.
That's it. That's all it was.
Dozens and dozens and dozens and dozens. Latino Catholics, bro, we gonna take over, dude. The freaking the Pope, bro. Freaking the Pope, bro. Do you want some more Chiefs? Do you want some more Chiefs with that, bro?
That is what apologetics is now. It's 80 IQ, refried beans, dude. That's it. Apologetics is refried beans. Yes, I would like more chips, by the way. And some more salsa.
You like more salsa, bro? The keys, dude. The keys, man. When is it infallible? When they jingle the keys, bro. Hey, say when they jingle the keys, bro.
Mocking is a sin. No, you saying mocking is a sin against the laws of anti-retardation on my channel. So you can get lost. You could take a hike to the border, bro. You could get lost, bro. Head on back to make a run for the border. Remember the old Taco Bell commercials? We got Taco Bell apologetics. Apologetics has been Taco Bell-sized.
Make a run for the border. Hey, bro, what you mean about epistemic? The fuck is that, bro? What that mean, dude? Hey, see, all I know is like, Santa Muerte, pray for me, Santa Muerte.
And I'm not just picking on Latinas, all of my big booty Latinas. I'm not just picking on them. I'm talking also about the Congo Aquinas crowd out there. I'm talking about them too. We are at garbage tier, dude. It's over. The apologetics is done.
Epistemic, bro. You don't like the Pope, bro. What's your problem is, dude? Bro. What's the problem with just saying it's infallible when it's infallible, bro? What's the problem? What does that even mean, dude? Epistemic.
It's over, dude. It's over. Just give up. Apologetics is done. The only people that are going to stay in that religion are just the tards. So they can just have it. They can go touch butts, man. So the same thing is happening in this world of the face lords. Welcome to the aeon of the face lord. The era of high IQ apologetics, atheist debates where we get into tag and we get into the universals and the logi. Dude, that's done. Ain't none of these people gonna ever even know what you're talking about. This is the era of the face lord. It is the era of Jerry Springer. Okay, it's the era of Sally Jesse Raphael returned. It's the era of Morton Downey Jr. returned. It's the era of Ricky Lake returned. Things come in cycles, dog. Things come in cycles. And the new cycle is no longer the news cycle. The new cycle is
the aeon of the face lord.
Every day when you click onto the internet will fill your screen with the faces of the face lords. You will only see Tim Pool, Candace, Tucker, Fuentes.
The face lords. Welcome to the aeon of the face lord. We have now taken over your internet.
every screen will only be the faces of the Face Lords. This is a new aeon. Everyone denying the aeon of the Face Lord shall be crushed.
Welcome to the Aeon of the Face Lord. And it applies to apologetics as well.
Sour grapes, trying to find a reason why something was wrong with him. And she chose a different life. I look at everything she's doing now. She's attacking Erika Kirk directly.
The other thing, too, is once it all shifts into the Face Lord soap opera, there's no way to tell what the heck's going on. Like, we'll never figure it. It's just going to turn into who's got the next episode. On Days of Our Face Lord drama, Days of, what's the stupid ass soap operas? Days of Our Lives, Face Lord Lives, Days of Our Face Lord Lives. And next week on Days of Our Face Lord Lives, it's just going to be, turns out, so-and-so was actually sleeping with so-and-so the entire... It's like, it's all soap opera, dude. It's over. So, I'm sorry if you thought it was going to be intellectual and you were going to get... Dude, it's over. It's time for... What's some more... We got to come up with some more soap operas. Face Lords of Our Lives. Face... Boop, 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 boop. What are the old soap operas called? It's soap operas mixed with daytime TV. Ricky Lake, you know what I'm saying? Morton Downey Jr., Sally Jessa Raphael, Phil Donahue, mixed with soap opera, mixed with conspiracy theory. It's the weirdest mix ever, dude. Young and the Restless. Okay, I need one that fits with Face Lord. Guiding Light. No, that didn't work. Boop, 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 boop. Okay, I can't even remember the names of soap operas other than like Days of Our Lives or whatever. Face Lords of Our Lives.
Grieving widow who has to now deal with a life without a husband and a father for her children. And the question is, why would Candace do this? Why would Candace accuse Turning Point staffers, Charlie Kirk's best friends, of being in on the plot to murder him or even attack his wife? If she really cared about Charlie as much as she claims, she'd want to protect his legacy. She'd want to create a better future, or at least help in whatever way she could, create a better future for Charlie's children than his grieving widow instead.
Is this where I'm looking for the part where he screams. Is this
capacity? I have one.
This isn't where he screams. Let's see if this is it.
Of course, I was shocked by Bibi Netanyahu coming out right away and saying I didn't kill him. Like that totally makes you look not guilty. I don't know if you felt, Jimmy, that.
This isn't it. Oh, maybe this is it. Candace is evil.
There's an article that came out. There was a shooting, dollar program, to be correct.
Reported the following.
I like this of emails. Go home. The next stupid because it largely just right. Pool reported a burglary at one of his.
Now, where's the scream and rant, dude? That's what I'm trying to find.
Not safe for work.
For that, but don't DM me like I did something for you as you cower, scared that she'll put you on her thumbnail and claim you benefited from Charlie Kirk's assassination, which she's doing to me right now.
Yeah, that was the.
I'm done with these people.
She has security just not on the level of you.
Oh yeah, the one fat guy you mentioned with no wall and no.
You shall now feel the wrath of the era of the Face Lord.
Barrier in a suburban neighborhood with neighbors. Shouldn't give two f***ing. No one's out for her. She's lying about all of this. You told me you went to her house and she's got a 4-foot wall and one fat guy, and she doesn't give a about her security. Meanwhile, I get bullets fired at my f***ing property and I have to go live in the middle of nowhere. And I got strangers coming up to my house in Maryland, breaking in. I got people showing up and beating.
Okay, anyway. So, everyone is angry. The whole internet is talking about. Let's see what Jimmy Dore says about it.
Of the conspiracies surrounding his assassination.
Really? You talked about all of the conspiracies? Did you talk about the biggest conspiracy that a single lone nut guy was able to get on the roof without any security seeing him, without a drone seeing him, was able to put together a rifle, put the scope on, set it up, take a shot with no one seeing him, except somebody did see him. People in the crowd saw him. Guess who didn't? The cops didn't see him. The security team didn't see him. The head of the security team didn't see him. Nobody saw him except people in the crowd. Did you ask about that?
I wonder if the Israel Sabbath book that Charlie Kirk is putting out, or that they're posthumously putting out, was that something that is intended to shore up the questions about his support of Israel? Or was he still just leaning into it? That's the thing that's an interesting question here.
So here she is. She's going to do a promo for this interview coming up, and let's watch how funny it is, because it's pretty funny.
I just sat down for an hour with Erika Kirk.
Whatever you do, don't focus on her hands, because it'll distract you and you won't hear what she's saying. But anyway, I
love that she's walking.
And she's doing a walk and talk. Because she's very busy. She's
in the newsroom. Oh yeah.
She's so busy. She's a real gumshoe reporter. She's on her way to probably blow the roof off the establishment lies. Anything. Here we go.
I just sat down for an hour with Erika Kirk, and we talked about everything. We talked about what was going through her head when she stood on that stage and forgave her husband's alleged murderer. We talked about all of the conspiracies surrounding him.
Did you ask her why was it so easy for her to be able to forgive the guy she says killed her husband, but she has all this hate, vitriol, and fire for the people trying to find out who actually did it? Did you ask that, why she can't forgive them? No, I don't think so. But what? Don't watch her hands.
It's assassination. And of course,
So again, whatever you think of all this, like post the Big 9 event, given so much deception and lying from the establishment, how can you blame people for, not believing stuff? By the way, SP Law Care, isn't he Orthodox? He made it into the Jimmy Dore show. Isn't that the Orthodox dude?
Wow. Having Toady Weiss sure was worth it. Because she didn't, when she said that Tulsi Gabbard was a toady, Barry Weiss famously said on Joe Rogan that she was a toady of Assad. She was an Assadist toady. And then Joe Rogan says, what does that mean? And she did not know what it means. And that means that it was a received opinion. Someone told her that. The establishment person told her a talking point.
She didn't know what the word toady meant?
And she just repeated it. And that's who she is. And so you're Israel DEI hire. And that's what so people were saying a lot of stuff. So the
real issue at the root of all this is because people are starting to say, wait a minute, it always comes back to the Israel topic, right? I'm not saying that proves that Israel did anything in terms of the assassination. We don't know that yet, but that's why people keep pressing the issue and why this keeps becoming such a hot topic.
That told me the night before Charlie was murdered that Charlie Kirk texted him and said,
and so much of this is hearsay too. Oh, I heard somebody say that this was sent on text, and I heard Candace say that this, and I heard that Charlie Kirk said. It's like a lot of this stuff is hard to verify. So how do you even know how do I know which face lord to trust? That's why I'm here. I'm your trusted face lord, ladies and gentlemen. Look at this face. Would this face violate your trust? I'm the only living face lord that has a face that lords out trust. My trust literally is lording over all of you right at this moment. Okay, somebody wants to talk. What's up, dude? You're talking to the internet's sexiest blackface lord. I'm talking about myself right now. Okay. There might be some other blackface lords that you're tempted to trust. We're talking about the hottest diva on the internet right now. What's up, man? What's on your mind? Unmute. Raisins, unmute.
That's all right. Raisin, but it's Roisin. I have followed Candace Owens for years. I have no interest in the wars, what's going on, who's involved, blah, blah, blah. I only care about Ireland because that's where I live. That's all I care about. But she just has been on the fucking money non-stop for years. For people to say she's making all this money after being married to an aristocrat from England, millionaires, she's making all this money. Like Tim Pool is making an absolute fucking twat out of himself. I don't know what's going on with him, whether it's jealousy or whatever, I don't know. Like there was a thing she put out there on the 11th of last month about what was going to go on this month. And there it was, another terrorist attack. I had no real opinion on TPUSA. I had a big opinion on Charlie Kirk, a big follower, advocate, loved him, thought he was amazing, brave, strong, and all the rest. But I think there's too many holes in the stories. I don't think, like when she came out about France and what's going on there with, the two gay men being married and all the rest, I thought, Jesus, that's far-fetched till I watched it. And what made me support that was 4 years ago, I'd sent something to my brother, very similar, about different countries in a similar scenario. So, Candace Owens, is she making money? Yeah, but they all are. Like Jimmy Dore has never had, and listen, Jimmy Dore has turned this past 2, 3, 4 years. When I looked yesterday, over 500,000 views he got. So Jimmy made money by having Candace on, and that's what makes the world go round, is money, if you're money orientated in any way, shape or form. But I don't believe for 1 minute that there was only, like I know they're trying to blur the lines and make it trivial and stupid and all the rest. There was Egyptianness and maroon people and maroon t-shirts and this one and that. See if you're going to do like a mass conspiracy to murder one person, especially one person, no offense to anybody here, who goes against Israel. It's not going to be one person. It's going to be multifaceted. It has to be. It has to be. So, do I believe it was one person? No. It had to be all these people. Has she got all her ducks in a row? I don't know, because I'm not her. But do I think she's on the money? I haven't seen anything from Kash Patel or Dan Bongino, and I'm following from Ireland. I had great time, great respect for them. Today, none. I think that the Americans would be better sacking them at this point. I mean, they've let the world down with Epstein and with God knows what else. They've let the world down. So,
all right. Well, yeah, appreciate that. That's interesting take there. So Ireland is pro Candace. Ireland feels deep down that they're the bloc people of Ireland, of the UK. They're the blocs of the UK. And so they feel deep down a bit of camaraderie with e-divas on the internet, like Jay Dyer, the blockest man on the internet. Father Deacon Ananias, how are you? Did you want to comment? As an Orthodox face lord, would you like to comment? No? Okay. All right. I will be your face lord lover. I want to be a face lord lover. Ashley says for $10, did you see Bryson Gray?
What that is, who that is, what that is, what Bryson is, what that is, logic, what that is.
He said that it's time to change the church fathers, church and that Ignatius is demonic. Well, that's because Bryson Gray is demonic. That's why he would say St. Ignatius is demonic. Bryson Gray is a lunatic and a moron, and people that follow Bryson Gray are idiots. Bird, $5. Church. Octavian, $2. Jay, my priest enjoyed your list video on liberals in the Orthodox Church. Thank you. Landon Jordan Music, $20. The milk is still pure. The milk is still pure. We got some Taylor Marshall Face Lord fans in the audience, getting some of that, just squeezing them jugs over there, getting a little bit of cow vitamins, liquid cow vitamins, squeezing them jugs, the milkers. Alexander for $6. Can bishops through the office of the keys and economia interpret the canons and relax the canons so that a virgin could be, so a person who's not a virgin could be a monk? Well, being a virgin is not the requirement, it's being celibate. So if a person was living a dissolute life and became a monk, then they could be appointed to be a hieromonk. But I don't think a married person could be a monk. That doesn't sound possible at all. So, and I don't think a bishop could bend the canons to that. That doesn't seem. Go ahead.
It is possible if both married couples agree to it and get a blessing, but they both go into monasteries. Does that make sense?
Well, his question is ambiguous because he says a person that's not a virgin. So I don't know if he means living celibate or if he means a person who ever had sex. But I think he means probably what you're saying.
Maybe he means, which obviously is totally wrong. Could they release the? Could they interpret the canons so that you could actually be promiscuous and be a monk? And obviously, that's not the case. That would never happen.
Ruben Anderson, $5. Catholic RCA class that I was in was taught by a woman. She said Nephilim are aliens from space. A gay person compared Greta Thunberg to Jesus. Can I expect Orthodoxy in its catechism class to be at least less insane than this? Yes, I would say, I would bet you $500 that probably 90% chance your Orthodox catechesis class will not compare Jesus to Greta and gay people to Greta and Jesus and say that Nephilim are aliens. Morthodoxy, $5. Pink flamingo Israelites are the Pank Kangs. I think he's talking about this. I don't know what that means, but I guess it means, you like this little guy right here? Is he, so he's an Israeli flamingo, so somehow Pink Kangs, Israeli Pink Kangs, whatever, dude. Rolf Stakes became a member. We are getting Jay Dyer versus Ian Carroll debate. I don't keep up with the Face Lords. I don't even know why would I debate Ian Carroll? I mean, I've heard he has liberal views, but I've not followed the Candace drama and all this until recently. So debate what? Slow boy. I would debate like philosophy if he has like a liberal worldview. Slow boy whiteboard. They're taking advantage of, you can't question anything that a widow says or does by putting her on all the social media everywhere. Says slow boy whiteboard. DC Woodworking. Debate John Hagee on all the blood moons. It's funny. Whenever I ask who you guys want to see me debate in a big debate, people always ask for people that are never going to debate. Okay, Pastor Greg Locke, John Hagee, they don't do debates. I know that DC Woodworking is kidding, but a lot of people think that, why don't you debate Pastor Greg Locke and his Christian Zion? Because he doesn't debate. Jason, $10. My name is Jason. I have kidney issues. Oh, I thought he was joking. He says, pray for me. I'm scared. I need to make it through this week. Well, I'm sorry to hear that, Jason. Everybody pray for Jason and his kidney issues. That was a serious request. Not being flippant about medical issues. Perez says for $5. Back a week or so ago, you had on people. You had a Depeche Mode People Are People t-shirt on. What's your favorite Depeche Mode track? Mine's Halo. I like a lot of Violator. Most of the Violator album is good. I like It's No Good. I like Barrel of a Gun. I like Free Love. I like soothe my soul, soothe my. There's only one way to soothe my soul. I like home. I like a lot of Depeche Mode songs, man. It's hard to pick one because I like most. I'm not a huge fan of the early Depeche Mode, like the corny keyboardy stuff. I like the early 90s, late 80s, early 90s, dark, synthy stuff. That's what I like. I like Let Me Show You the World in My Eyes. That's probably my overall, going back to the 80s, that's probably my favorite Depeche Mode song. World in My Eyes. Skippy Red. This is all snowballing into a Lord Voldemort SH situation. Brad says for $10, Jay, did you hear about the shooter's dad? I think you mean the Charlie Kirk event. Owns a concrete company that paved the crime scene. I did not know that. By the way, LDS get recruited into the CIA. This is not out of the question. Oh, I'm well aware of that. I've talked about that for years. Damian Williams says for $5, Candace and the FBI are both dishonest. What if I don't trust either one of them? We can call into question face lords and the establishment. I'm the only face lord that you can't question. Do not question me, or you will be crushed under the galactic boot of the Aeon of the Face Lords. Since the early days of Candace's time in politics, she has acted dishonestly, Damien says. Aha, 540, 5440, $5. This is all soap opera. I know that Zionism is a problem, but why would anyone get rid of Charlie? Is it just to destroy his reputation? What if he wanted out of the cause? Well, I think the issue is that if you take money, you're on the hook. So if certain nation states were involved, then likely it would have been due to taking this money, being involved in that kind of money. And again, we're talking about, high levels of money, and then saying or thinking, okay, I want out of this. I'm doubting Christian Zionism. I don't, this, that. That could be a serious problem. Doesn't prove that those people did it. It raises questions. Hugh says for $5, I became a catechumen. I wanted to send this for gratitude. Your influence helped me. Well, thank you, man. Appreciate that many years to you. Master Shake, $2. Filioque quesadillas. That's what them Roman Catholics are chewing on. All them 80 IQ Latinos that filled up my Instagram and were driving me crazy with their just freaking stupid comments, dude. So dumb.
Bro, what's the problem with Trent Horn argument? Like, why can't I just say that canon law says it's infallible when it's manifest that it's infallible? What's the problem, bro? What the problem is, bro? So what if I eat paste? What's the problem, bro? Santa Muerte, pray for us, bro. What the problem is, bro?
And I'm not just hating on Latinas, because we know we got a lot of beloved homeboys, home slices, and Latinxes in my chat. But I am hating on the dum-dums that filled up my friggin' Instagram over that nonsense. Kill by Plays, $5. Can we get a Jingle of the Keys Christmas tune from Pope Dyer? Did Will Smith have some kind of a jingle? No, he's Ring My Bell. You can jingle my keys, jingle my keys, jing, jing, jingle-ling-a-ling. You can jingle my keys, jingle my keys. Pope Leo, jingling my keys. How's that? A Wall Smoth version. Lockstep says, Candace is rocking the boat on purpose. She basically said she thinks the CIA is credible. Well, she had Kevin Shipp on saying the CIA is not credible. I'm not saying she didn't say that. I don't know what you're referring to, but it would be odd for her to say that, given that she had CIA whistleblower, which, by the way, doesn't necessarily mean much because, let's see, where's it at? Here it is, this clip here.
But now we're going to go back in time, and I'm going to ask you who you think did each of these huge events, okay?
Mm-hmm.
The killing of MLK Jr.
That was a CIA operation.
JFK.
I think that was a CIA hit.
And by the way, of course, we know that just because someone is a CIA whistleblower doesn't mean they're credible, right? They could be. I think John Kiriakou is credible. Who was that other? There was another CIA whistleblower guy. Oh, well, we covered John Stockwell's book. He seems fair. Who?
Jamie Kennedy.
Jamie Kennedy is. Jamie Kennedy is not a CIA whistleblower. Isn't this Kevin Shipp? Yeah, so this is a former CIA dude.
They may have employed some mafia connections to carry it out because that was their
That's all known. We all know that's true.
mafia assassination
Exactly.
program.
LBJ was very involved in all that in Dallas. And so
He was an evil man.
He was an evil man. Okay, what about Pearl Harbor?
They knew the attack was coming. They knew where it was going to happen in Pearl Harbor and when. And they told no one, and they let it happen on purpose.
How else were you going to get Americans to be on the side of this war that had nothing to do with
Exactly.
us? Which brings us to 9/11. Your opinion?
My opinion, as a criminal investigator, as a former CI officer, 9/11 was not the act of a bunch of poorly flight-trained terrorists that executed an unbelievably meticulous piloting of those aircraft.
So you get the idea with Kevin Shipp. So you're saying that Candace thinks the CIA is credible. Well, I think she needs to. I need to see the clip because this is saying basically the CIA is not credible. So maybe she means specific people within the CIA like Kevin Shipp. JB Peltier, the news cycle is no longer the news cycle. Yeah, the news cycle is not the news cycle. Exactly. Shane says for $5, what do we do for those of us who want to get into apologetics? I mean, you can still do it. Like, Alex Soren is still, he's putting out good apologetic material. Father Deacon Dr. Ananias is putting out good apologetic material. I'm not saying you can't put out high tier academic material. I'm just saying that the vibe of apologetics from 2017 is the opposite of apologetics in 2025. It has turned into, it's just, the whole internet's just face lords now. So
It's like sports ball.
there you go. Jay, when are you going to debate the Mossad? Well, I did debate Yaron Brooks from the IDF. So is that good enough? So that's pretty close. So what do you want to do to? I mean, again, guys, don't take everything I'm saying literally. I'm not saying you can't get into apologetics. I'm not saying you can't, debate people in a serious academic way. It's just the academic stuff is going to get way less traction and interest than, face lord drama. So that's just the reality of it. Nectarios, what's up, man? What's up?
Jay.
Hey, bro.
Can you hear me?
Hey, dude, what's on your mind, man?
Oh, nothing else, man. It's great to see the Black Queen of the Orthodox, my liege, a sacrifice of praise I give unto thee. How are you?
Yeah, I'm just chilling right now,
Hey, quick question. I see evangelical idols. Are you just looking for evangelicals to debate, or are you taking also Q&A about evangelical theology?
Anything related to it, because what I wanted to do really was to say, look, all the face lord drama isn't even the real issue with the problems in America, right? Because all these face lords that are out here yapping and talking about this is the problem, that's the problem, they're not identifying the real problem is American heresies like Christian Zionism or the idols of American false religion, be it sports. Oh, the other thing I want to talk about was, so Kirk Cameron, right? Kirk Cameron, not Erika Kirk Cameron. Kirk Cameron says today, and the reason I'm bringing him up is not because Growing Pains, was he from Growing Pains? Not because of Growing Pains, but he's been a face of evangelicalism for what, 2 decades, for many, many years, right? Well, today he's come out and said that there is no hell, and he can't believe in a Christianity or religion that would teach that there is damnation. Okay, so let's hear Kirk Cameron here talk about it.
Get down to it.
Yeah.
What's your opinion on this?
So my position, as it stands today, and again, the beauty of this is that we're always learning and growing, right? So I'm open to new light. If you guys have a position that you can share with me, I will gladly change my mind. I used to hold the position of conscious eternal torment because that's just what I was taught by people that I love and trust. I've learned that there are other positions, and a very robust argument can be made for conditionalism or annihilationism, as Edward Fudge posits here. And it fits the character.
So you notice evangelicalism always ends up shifting to a message that is more marketable.
Yes.
Because it's like a business, hence business church. That's the problem. Americanism produces a religion of business church. That's the root problem of both Christian Zionism, Protestantism, evangelicalism, and even the TPUSA stuff, which is full of people that claim to be prophets. Okay, that right there cancels the whole thing. Anybody claiming to be a prophet, claiming to be an apostle, the New Apostolic Reformation, Calvary Chapel, they're all intertwined in this nonsense. Like, that cancels that whole thing out right there. That's all fake and gay. And so I'm giving you examples of where evangelical theology takes you when you want to have a more and more marketable product.
Of God, in my understanding.
Have you realized, or
Go
have
ahead.
you noticed? Have you noticed that a lot of supposable evangelicals are just filled with a bunch of also pastors who want to hide their Reformed theology? Like, I'm about to have a discussion with a pastor who goes to a non-denominational church, mega church, and such like that here upcoming, but he has very Calvinistic Reformed views. But because of how evangelicalism now is growing in some ways, especially with Pentecostals and such, it's just more likable if I throw in this type of tradition, this type of worship, they call it, and some nice messages in order to market their ideas and such like that, and maybe slip in a little bit of Reformed theology. Have you noticed that?
Yeah, that's interesting that they would keep their Reformed theology on the down low, but you're absolutely right. That does happen. Absolutely.
And so my last question was, I'm about it. So when I have this discussion with the pastor, we actually talked a little bit about the sovereignty of God. What is a clear, good definition to propose of the sovereignty of God versus like Orthodox view versus the evangelical view? I understand that we believe synergistically, and they have more of like God is the cause of all things.
Well, I think the key point would be God in Calvinism. God is the direct, immediate cause of every event. And so there's a problem within Calvinism for the possibility of secondary causes. So if God's decretive will is the direct cause of every event, and you don't have a situation where, well, why can't God create a world where there are secondary causes, right? That's the distinction.
Okay. And I just want to let you know also, Vladimir Putin said that when you're done with the stream, make sure you contact him. He has another task for you. But thank you for your time.
Yes. Yeah, he owes me 25,000 Dugan coin because I reposted the Dugan interview. So for those that don't know, I get paid as a Russian Duganite operative of Putin only in Dugan coin. The problem is that Dugan coin is not accepted at most consumer outlets, so I have to actually fly to Russia, where there's a couple sort of old Soviet malls and marketplaces that still take Soviet currencies, and that's the only place that I can trade in and convert my Dugan coin into marketable Soviet paper notes. A lot of people think the Soviet currency collapsed. It did, but Dugan coin is still convertible to Soviet USSR banknotes. So thank you for that there. Toasty, what's up, dude? Shout out to everybody in the chat that is going to be donating a Dugan coin if you would like to support the stream. By the way, you can also support the stream with Bitcoin, and that's my Bitcoin wallet right there. That will allow you to fund me into infinity, and I can then take the Bitcoin and convert them into Dugan coins. This is a joke, by the way, but you can support me right here through Bitcoin. What's up, man?
Hey, I just had a question. After the Slava of Saint Sava at the end of January, we're going to be asking my bishop with my priest for the blessing to go to seminary school. And I was just wondering if you maybe had 3 book recommendations to kind of prepare for that ahead of September.
How about the Bible? Number 1.
Yeah, I mean, that's daily, right? For sure.
Yeah, it would definitely be, that's good to hear. I'm happy for you. I think there's some really important, patristic stuff that people should be very fluent with. Everybody should have, St. John Damascus is on the Orthodox faith down pat. They should know it very well. Everybody should have
On the incarnation.
I would assume that somebody going to seminary has read that stuff. That's kind of introductory stuff. Maybe not. So maybe FDA is right, but I'm saying, serious theology, you need to get into Father Staniloy, Orthodox Dogmatic Theology, Volume 1, Knowledge of God. You need to get into, Byzantine Theology by Meyendorff, Mystical Theology by Losky. All of those should be like default, them well. That would be my caution, because a lot of people, unfortunately, even in the clergy, they don't know a lot of the theology. And so when there's serious theology challenges, a lot of times they're not equipped to handle, some papist arguing for some, nuanced filioque thing. Everybody also should be familiar with Crisis in Byzantium by Papadakis and what Blackernay argues. Jose, what's up? The Tomos against John Beckos, all those are very important against papism. What up, dog? I'm you. Hey, dude.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, what's up, man? What's on your mind, bro?
Not too much. There's 2 things. I'll start with the one that applies to the evangelical side. One thing that I've noticed and seen myself firsthand, especially in Pentecostalism, it promotes or it results in a level of passivity in men. I think it's heavily pushed, especially I have it talking to, I have a lot of family members and friends still in the Pentecostal movement I was raised up in. And it's just fascinating to me, how much passivity comes out of it and how much they direct their lives based on what their feelings tell them that or what they perceive.
No, I mean, the evangelical world is all just effeminate, feelings based. It's the worst.
Yep. No, and that passivity is part of why you have this crisis in masculinity in the United States, and it is definitely a sign of the failure of American Christianity as a whole.
Yes.
And why you had this anti-masculinity become so dominant, and also part of being masculine is enforcing boundaries, and the lack of enforcement of borders, both the political ones as well as sexual ones with the sexual revolution. And
Absolutely.
They're all tied together.
Yeah, exactly. The lack of defining boundaries and setting limits, that's exactly what is the purpose of the cuckery in the evangelical Christian world. Same with the theology of the rapture. Just sit back and wait, let Antichrist take over. It's all ultimately going to bring Jesus. I mean, that's just such an obvious cop out, theology.
Correct. And one thing I noticed to that, since you brought up the rapture, just how many older people I've talked to, etc., who've literally told me they don't see a point in building something to hand down to their kids because Jesus is going to come in any day now.
Exactly. Yeah.
So there's no point. Yeah, no point building for the future.
Exactly. Boomer evangelicals adopting this stupid rapture heresy might be the end of the country. Dictus, what's up, man? Thank you, Jose. Really great comments.
Jay Dyer, you don't understand. I am Evangelical. You don't understand that the passivity and the no boundaries is the way of the gurus.
It is also the way of the true Jesus, not the Bible Jesus. The true Jesus.
See, the peoples are
Retarded.
retarded, so they must.
Listen to the holy, listen to my holy nose boogers.
Let my booger whistles.
Put you into a trance where you will see the gods.
I will bring you into the mysteries. I almost threw myself off a bridge the other day because I saw someone comment that Sadhguru is one of the best philosophers of the 21st century.
Thank you, Dictus. That shows you why we are in the era of the face lords. People believe that people are the papers. Actually, Osho's right. The papers are retarded. Right. So, turns out we've come full circle. Osho was actually correct all along. Athanasius, what's up? The people are retarded. By the way, I was right. Gross Point Blank does have a reference to the Rothschilds and the cover for an assassination hitman squad. And it's 52 minutes into Gross Point Blank, where in the screenplay it does mention the Rothschilds. I was correct. What's up, man?
Hey, can you hear me?
Yep.
All right. I was wondering if I can ask a geopolitical question.
Sure.
Or is this not the night for that?
No, you can go ahead.
Okay, so I was doing some reading on the British
You're giving a
and their espionage.
Oh, man, this is the kind of questions I love, and you're cutting out. So you're reading about British intelligence? Go ahead.
And I was reading about how they used Freemasonry during the 1800s revolutions all throughout Europe.
Yes.
And I read about how they imported Friedrich Engels and Karl Marx into England to create the First International. And after that failed, they started the Second International. What I'm wondering is how did the British use ultimately Lenin and Trotsky to start the October Revolution?
I don't think it was particularly necessarily just a British thing. It was the British Fabian elites like Lord Rothschild, like Lord it's in the Rothschild book. I just went blank on the guy's name. Milner, Lord Milner, and the Fabian circles that were goading Woodrow Wilson to aid and support Trotsky and Lenin to have the revolution. So that's on record. And Anthony Sutton's book confirms what's in Rothschild's book. I've read Warburg's letters talking about it, where he brags about it. So you have banking elites, Jewish banking elites, Schiff's, Warburg's, it's others that talked about supporting the Bolshevik Revolution. But it wasn't just them, it was also the Rockefellers that aided it and supported it out of Rockefeller Plaza. So if you really want the book on that gets into the British intelligence side of it, and people like Bruce Lockhart, the famous British spy who was involved in that, he was the one who was the liaison between the British elites and Lenin and Trotsky, or Bruce Lockhart. I have his books too as well. You want to read, just read Sutton's book, Wall Street and the Bolshevik Revolution, and he will detail all of the Rockefeller corporates. It was run out of like 66 Rockefeller Plaza or some like, it's like a block of New York that the Rockefellers owned that was basically running the British or the Bolshevik Revolution.
Yeah, because I remember reading about how the British had actually helped Trotsky get to St. Petersburg, because
yes,
originally when he went to Canada, he was arrested, but the MI5 was the one that released him and sent him to...
Well, it's, do you say that again? Start over.
Because what I remember reading is that when Trotsky was leaving the United States to go to St. Petersburg, the Canadians arrested him.
Yeah, it's Canadian intelligence, which was set up by British intelligence, and they let him go. And by the way, Woodrow Wilson helped him get a passport to do all that. And that was because the higher level Milner Rothschild circles, the Fabian socialists, were pushing Wilson to do that because they had blackmail on Wilson. That's public record too, by the way. Did you know that?
I didn't know that.
Yeah, Woodrow Wilson was blackmailed for having a mistress. That's in mainstream news.
Yeah, defense. I've never been a big fan of Wilson. I've always seen him as a kill for holism.
You cut out what?
I guess we can.
You keep cutting out
I've
what?
never been a big fan of Wilson, and I just.
Well, yeah, he was a Fabian socialist, so yeah.
Yeah. That's all I had to ask. Thanks for helping me out there, Jay.
But the book you want to read is Sutton's Wall Street and the Bolshevik Revolution. Okay, now, guys, I was also in a very interesting Bayes chat with Millennial Woes. Flashback to 2017. Y'all remember Millennial Woes? We had a good conversation, almost an hour and 12 minutes, about recapping 2025. So go check out that on Twitter if you missed it. And also on the issue with like the Calvary Chapel and all that stuff, remember that we did really lengthy breakdown live streams. Talking about how silly Calvary Chapel was, and even people in the chat, both John Adams and Father Deegan and Dr. Ananias grew up in Calvary Chapel. So if you want full on, refuting Christian Zionism, I've got streams on it here. We've got videos and streams on it in my members section. We did a whole 4-hour focus on this. We got charismatic Pentecostal stuff refuted here. Christian Zionism, dispensationalism refuted here. Father Deacon, could you speak to some of the issues with Calvary Chapel from your perspective?
Oh, yeah. Well, do you have the dispensationalism?
Are they all dispensational or just a lot of them? Do you know?
No, it's officially a doctrine of.
Oh, it is.
Now, what is interesting, we did have a caller who mentioned a megachurch pastor kind of having to keep his reformed views on the down low. I will say that's happened at Calvary Chapels.
Oh, really?
That they were extremely anti-Calvinist and reformed. And so if there was any pastors that had those kind of tendencies, they had to keep them on the down low. But yeah, they all subscribe to. Now, how into it and how much they pushed dispensationalism might vary. Also, depending on what Calvary Chapel is,
tell you that
where they hire on the kind of emotivism and the kind of charismaticism. Obviously, the Calvary Chapel Costa Mesa had changed over the years and became kind of more sober, traditional, and kind of the hymns and the worship. What else can I say about?
But I mean, it's essentially bound up with, right, the whole dispensational evangelical Christian Zionist ethos, right?
Yes.
Like, you're not going to get a Calvary Chapel that's like based in anti-Christian Zionist.
No, no. In fact, they were because it's a franchise.
It's a business, right?
Yeah, it's a business owned by, and I don't know how that works out in terms of secular law and stuff like that, but I do know that Chuck Smith and the Smith family, before it went over to, he passed away and went to Brian Brodesson, the Brodesson family. And there were kind of legal disputes between the Smith family and the Brodesson family and all that kind of stuff. He absolutely had control over, just like a company. Like if you had owned a bunch of franchise under a company, you can lay out the laws that workers, code of conduct, beliefs that you subscribe to and stuff like that. So he can maintain, if anybody was anti-dispensationalist, if anybody was Reformed or Calvinist, he would have them removed. He owns the name Calvary Chapel.
Wow. So basically a corporation.
It's a corporation, yeah.
Dang, that's crazy. So not a church.
That's why we call him Pope Chuck.
Gotcha.
Pope Smith.
Right.
Is that he had the infallible magisterium of, and according to the donations of Smith and their apostolic lineage from Charlemagne, the original Chuck Smith,
Troll Smith, aka Charlemagne. That's funny.
Yeah. Other questions about, but the amount that, I mean, each cover chapel was different. Like you had some that were just like, why am I blanking on his name? He was really into numerology and prophecies. Hold on, Chuck Missler.
Oh yeah. I used to read him back in my evangelical days.
Yeah, and some Calvary chapels way more kind of charismatic.
Mm-hmm.
Read into the kind of end times and stuff like that. It was interesting because at Costa Mesa, they didn't do any of that.
Really?
As far as interpreting. Because I think Chuck had egg on his face from the early years of making all those prophecies.
Oh, right.
That I was rarely, in terms of the Sunday services, he never preached on interpreting the end times and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But other pastors,
right.
For sure, even at the school, they could teach it. But isn't that kind of interesting? So they could be the kind of scapegoats and fall, if they got all crazy. But Chuck was the kind of the face of the traditionalism and modest kind of Calvary Chapel.
Yeah, to go into more detail on CA Business Church and the Evangelical Calvary Chapel stuff, you can go back to my stream here a month ago, Candace Owens and Evangelical Black Ops Business Church, where I commented on this. And by the way, I'm not agreeing with or saying that everything Candace says is correct. I'm just simply commenting on her comments on the Calvary Chapel, TPUSA, New Apostolic Reformation, New Apostles crowd. John Rock says for $5, USA Orthodox Christian Nationalists, Jesus is God. Islam and Judaism rejects the deity of Christ. They hate Christianity. That is correct. Octavian, in a Christian family, Pentecostal. Exactly. X-Lock Steps, $5. By the way, my 2025 YouTube recap says I'm in the top 2% viewers of your videos. I watched 263 of your videos this year. I am the biggest fan. The science is in. Well, thank you, Lockstep. Appreciate you getting brainwashed. I am now your handler.
Hey, by the way, I was just thinking about this today, about the Pentecostals.
Mm-hmm.
They really infiltrated Romania.
I know. We talked about that with Alex Soren on our interview.
Yeah, I need to watch that. I would say more so than any other Orthodox country.
Really?
I've been thinking about it. I mean, I could be wrong.
Well, they make a really good, evangelical Pentecostalism makes a really good form of soft power. That's what they use. They use the same stuff in the Ukraine too. The State Department of CA, they support a lot of evangelical stuff in the Ukraine as well. By the way, here is that stream if you want to watch more of that. Octavian says for $2, Real Steins of Daily Wire. Blink says $2, Face Lord Hospital. Octavian, Face Lord's in the Hood. Ignacio, $2. We got Peter, Foo, the keys and shit. Yeah, exactly. Hey, fool, we got Peter or whatever. Jewish Skeptic, $5. The distinction between a Face Lord and a talking head, is it formal or a virtual or a real distinction? It is a virtual distinction. They're pretty much the same. Jack wants to know, bro, you got to look up today the Toady video. It's hilarious. Oh, you're talking about Barry Weiss Toady? Okay, we got to see that. She doesn't know what it is. I find that hard to believe. Like, how would you... So-and-so is a toady for Assad? What's a toady? I don't know. I mean, what? Let's see.
What do you think happens with him?
I don't know who can beat him.
Fascinating,
I don't know
right?
who can beat him. Who do you think can beat him?
That's a good question. I don't know.
This ain't a real Jewish queen, okay? We're going to bring out the real Jewish queens. I want to see Buffy out here doing the media. You know what I mean? They need to get a real Jewish queen up in here. Roll out some more. What's her name? That looks like Jamie. Gal Gadot. Give us a Gal Gadot or a Buffy. Sarah Michelle Gellar out here from the 90s. Because what's with this nerdy looking librarian thing?
Hillary can't. I'm so worried.
Duh.
Yeah, but I'm so worried she's going to run again. She's going to muscle her way to the top.
I don't know who can beat him right now. And I don't know.
Why do you think that?
Right, and the question, right, is
as
like...
things keep going further and further south, what about someone who is a centrist Democrat? Doesn't that make more sense? That someone who's a rational person, who's on the right, who's going to look at this person who's maybe economically conservative but socially liberal and say, this is really where
unless
I'm
they
leaning
run
towards.
someone on the far left. And like...
People in the chat are talking about Jewish queens. Natalie Portman. I think probably Gal Gadot's got the lockdown on Jewish queen right now. Let's see.
I think that people on the left wouldn't fall for that the same way people on the right would.
Where is he?
I don't think people too. She had...
No, she's an Assad toady.
What does that mean?
She is
What's a toady?
I think that I used that word correctly. Jamie, can you check what toady means?
Like toeing the line? Is that what it means?
No, I think it's like a...
He doesn't know what a toady is? Like a shill? Like a stooge?
Toadie.
What does that mean?
She doesn't know.
I think it means what I think it means.
So these are people that are they just repeat what they're told to repeat. That's pretty crazy. Leonard? What's up, Leonard? I'm glad we have these. Isn't she she runs CBS now or something? Like she doesn't know basic terminology, and she's like they put her in charge of ABC, CBS, whatever she's in charge of. What's up, man? Leonard, unmute.
Hello, Jay. Do you hear me?
I can hear you. What are you doing? Hello.
No, Jay. I'm from Belgium, but I had a question, but I don't know how to maybe put it.
All right. Well, shout out to Jean-Claude Van Damme's and all the Belgian boys. What's up?
No, I go to an EP church here in Belgium, but we had some very how do you call it? Very different opinions than how the classical Orthodox persons would see it. But I don't know. I think what has now struck me is, for example, and I think this is very interesting to know, St. Vladimir's school is mostly influenced by the Paris school. And also the Paris school has a lot of liberal theology that they push, but not only in Western Europe, but also that went to America. I don't know if you know about this.
Liberal what being pushed? Say it again.
Yeah, Skittles stuff, contraception is good, things like that.
Okay. The solution to this is to get a solid Jewish queen to do the media. We need Buffy. Okay. We need Buffy out here. Get rid of Barry Weiss. I want to see Buffy running CBS and we'd be good. Okay. That's what we need. Tell me you don't want Buffy running media instead of Barry Weiss. Buffy knows what a toady is. Raw Race, what's up? I'm sorry, I don't know what to tell you about European Belgian liberalism. I mean, I'm sure everything's fake and gay. Dude, everything's just turning into fake and gay. What do you want me to do? What's up, man?
What's up, my favorite black queen?
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to confirm what Father Deacon Ananias said about the Pentecostals in Romania. After Orthodox Christianity is the biggest cult, and it's actually pretty early. Named Pavel Budanu, who went to Ohio, I think, in the early 20s,
Mm-hmm.
and actually attended the Azusa Street Revival in
Oh,
California.
no. Really?
yeah, like it's actually really old. And we had a guy who was I think he was a hieromonk monk or something, and he became some low church Protestant thing. I'm not sure exactly which cult, but he joined one of them, and he translated the Bible again without the Deuterocanon, and he even changed a few words. For example, in Exodus 20 or wherever that verse is about not making idols, push the word idol to icon so that he can push this against orthodoxy. So yeah, pretty bad.
Yeah, I mean, and of course the U.S. again supports all that because the U.S. exports its heresies. Why? Because of the doctrinal warfare program, because of soft power, because of Americanism being a very powerful, potent ideology in the Cold War that could be attached to evangelicalism. All right, we got a lot of super chats, and how are we ever going to pick a Jewish queen if we don't get through the super chats? LXL says, face lords in the hood of Israel. Exactly. Bird, $5. You a blackface lord. Oh, getting insulting, just hurting my feelings. Jordan says for $5, I gave Trent Horn an analogy. It's an analogy that a 5-year-old you would think could understand in his last video. He responded by showing me that he cannot understand what paradigms are or how they work. Exactly. They just cannot get it. There's something that happens in a person, especially when the paradigm is challenged, that a defense mechanism kicks in and they just shut it down. So, I don't know what to say. I mean, Father Deacon and I have done probably 10 podcasts on classical foundationalism, paradigms, transcendental arguments, Russ Mannion. I mean, we've hit it over the years, over and over and over. We're 4 or 5 years after the debate that I had with Trent Horn on natural theology and classical foundationalism. And if he doesn't get it, he's not going to. So I don't know what else to say. By the way, there's going to be an awesome Scam Shamu song that's about to drop. Y'all are going to love it. Dr. Evo has done his magic once again. And I have to say, this one, Orbs on the Dance Floor, it's better than all the other Dr. Evo songs, even the Voice of Sleazen song. Diesel, $5. Jay, I appreciate you. Your lectures and debates have helped me discover a new world. A whole new world. Thank you, Ariel. Orthodox Christianity is this new world. I plan to convert in 2026. Pray for me. My father-in-law is a mega church pastor. Oh, it's business. It's business church. It's business church, baby. Kara says $1. Debate Pastor Randy Balls. Pastor Randy Balls gets paid. He don't debate. He gets paid. He stacks. When is the Trent Horn diss song dropping? Mandos says. I don't know. I got to come up with one. Kara, $3. Your Cat Williams is fire. Thank you. It's perfect. Nobody. I love your vids, Jay. I felt suicidal before leaving the Latter-day Saints. Oh, man. Sorry to hear that. Watching your channel helped change my life for the better, GB. Well, thanks, man. God bless you, dude. I'm glad that you got out of that cult, and I'm sure you have may God bless you and give you a bright, flourishing future. Everybody pray for GB. Devin McShevin, $5. Devin Schmevin. If you're dealing with evolutionary bros, how do you push them to act? What do you mean to act? Do you slowly dial up discomfort by showing them the poor worldview, even if they seem fine with it? Yeah, I mean, all you can do is really kind of plant doubts in people's minds. You're not going to be able to immediately sort of debate them into it. So, but I mean, planting, healthy doubts is a good way to go about it. It's going to take time because everybody just sort of We swim in the soup of these worldviews that we've been trained in since we were kids. Skippy Red, Sweet Candy is coming on InfoWars because the Zio will shut her down. Well, I think that Alex will be actually, well, InfoWars actually will be shut down in January, I think. Jay stole his shirt from a gay dude in Miami. You just got owned because I am the gay dude from Miami that I stole the shirt from. Susan Wallace, $3. Do a Versace preacher song. Oh, y'all want to hear a preacher's? Y'all gonna love. Oh, dude, check this out. I found the best preacher clip of the week. Y'all gonna love this one. You are gonna love this. I'm glad you mentioned crazy preachers because I sent this one to beloved Tristana here. Man, every time you think you found the craziest preacher, a new one tops him. Okay, I think this is it. Yeah, this is it. Let's see. Wait till you guys hear this preacher. Okay, this is awesome. You ready for this?
Weenie out.
All right, let's start it over.
Zip it. And he'd get that weenie out. He wanted everybody to see that wiener. And then he'd get that bread. And he'd slap it in that bread.
Yeah, do we know how a hot dog is made? I like how this preacher is like explaining to everybody how a hot dog is made. Thank you. Appreciate that, Brother Billy.
And he'd unzip it. And he'd get that weenie out. He wanted everybody to see that wiener. And then he'd get that bread. He'd slap it in that bread.
Show me, brother. Brother Bill. How's a hot dog made, Brother Bill? I don't even know. Oh, you put the wiener in there in the bread. Okay, I get it now. You roll it up. You roll it in the bread. Okay. Thank you, Brother Bill. Appreciate it.
And he'd unzip it.
One more time.
And he'd get that weenie out. He wanted everybody to see that wiener. And then he'd get that bread. And he'd slap it in that bread.
Hey, man. Hey, man. Okay. The best part of it, though, is him explaining how the hot dog actually comes together. Because there's probably a lot of confusion. How do hot dogs actually get made? And how do they actually get inside the bread? A lot of people are out here wondering. And thank you to Brother Bill for settling that long dispute that all of us have wondered at one time in our lives. How the hell do they get that wiener inside that bread? Well, they roll it up in there. That's how. Also, this made me laugh pretty hard too. So there is a clip going around. I had to play this just because it's so funny. It was making me laugh. So do you remember a few years ago when the left and the feminists were talking about fart grape? Yes. If a man toots in the presence of a feminist, it is considered to some fart grape. And it's back because a lesbian feminist has uploaded a video that she is traumatized because she and her wife were in the department store and she got fart graped and she had, it's trauma. She's traumatized. I'm not kidding. This made me laugh pretty hard.
Now put the fucking phone down. All right. This is her.
Okay.
In her kitchen with her partner chronicling what happened.
It's fresh because it just happened. But
it's fresh. The smell is still fresh.
It's already funny.
My wife and I
That she is.
just went to the grocery store right by our house. Just to buy like junk food and stuff, because we're really tired. just wanted some sweet treats.
Yeah.
Some
Got
sweet
to it.
treats.
And we were walking down an aisle, and there were like two guys that walked up next to us. You know, Peyton like walked away. My wife walked away for just a second.
I hope they were immigrants. I hope they were third world immigrants that these people want to be here.
And they were like snickering to to themselves or something.
Oh, brother, that was a big one. Hey, brother, get at the front, get next to the lesbian girls. Let them get away from that, brother. Hey, the other crop does them. Hey, brother, we had a lot of spicy tandoori chicken. I put the level of spice up to 12. That was pretty bad, brother. Well, get it inside of the lesbians. Well, okay. Well, I will.
And what happened? I didn't really think much of it, so I'm just looking at the candy aisle trying
Hold on and pause for a second. Not that we need to revisit this again, but this is a lot like Phoebe Cates in her Christmas Story. You know what I mean? Like she was just minding her own business.
That again.
She thought a squirrel got stuck in the flue. They didn't think anything of it.
So the way she is crying,
I don't understand Adam Carolla's Phoebe Cates reference. What does that mean?
I would have thought that like somebody attempted to rape her at the grocery store.
Well, it was a nasal rape. I don't know.
It's fart grape. That's what they were. The feminists were saying this. Like we did a boiler room 10 years ago where feminists were calling it fart grape.
Hear what happened at the Albertsons.
I'm just looking at the candy aisle trying to decide what candy I want. And he
Was she starting to laugh there? That almost sounded like she was about to start laughing.
walks by and gets like inches from me.
Phoebe Cates, fart times at Ridgemont High. Instead of fast times, more like fart times at Ridgemont High. So there's a scene in Fast Times at Ridgemont High with Phoebe Cates. Okay, I don't even remember. It's been forever since I watched that movie. I'm not a huge fan of it. I don't think it's that good.
And just rips one, like farts, like this far from me. That's disgusting to say. I can't even believe I'm having to say this.
But I hope he was from India or Pakistan.
But he
Have to
did.
say it. Hold on a second. Are you contractually obliged by your cellular carrier to give one
To tell
heartfelt
TikTok.
fart story a month? Like,
I do have
you
to
don't
say-
have to tell the story.
I am going to side with her though. Like a man coming that close to you in a
Yeah.
public space, you're like, whoa.
I hope
That
that he was from India, brother. Well, what did you think of this? Let's see. I want to see more of the video. I don't care about her commentary.
All right.
so she feels like this was a personal assault.
It was a personal
This was
assault.
personal.
Keep going.
Far from me. That's disgusting to say. I can't even believe I'm having to say this. But he
to say
did. And about that time, Peyton walked up, like didn't witness what happened, but like seconds later, and I'm like upset, and I follow after him, and I was like, "Is there a reason? You were just so disrespectful to me."
Brother, in my country, that is a sign that you are a beautiful woman. If a man fart directly on top of your face, that is a sign that he like you. Why are you judging and being racist against my culture, brother? Well,
Come here. And he never felt so dehumanized. Not only did he
All right, you got to pause there. Hold on a second.
look at the other creature.
Listen, everybody. We can't raise everyone grown up in bubble wrap and Purell. Pick a second. Kimmel in her squat. Silent.
A choice.
All right, you get the idea. Everyone, let's pray for the lesbians to not get fart graped anymore by the third world migrants. Please do a Versace preacher song. Okay, we'll see. Guys, head on over to chalk.com, the best in supplementation on the internet. That is the Jay's Analysis sponsor, the official sponsor. And they're giving a papal indulgence this month for all those who are in communion with Pope Unitus I, that is myself. J60 Life, that's JY60 LIFE. You get 60% off all Chalk products, including the Performance Stack. You can buy the individual products, the Tonkat Elite. You can buy the daily, the Ashwagandha for mental clarity, focus, Tonkat for testosterone improvement, all of that. It's proven to do so. Peer review papers over at chalk.com. I still take Chalk every day. I love it. Guys, head on over to chalk.com, CHOQ.com, JAY40 to get 40% off. J60 to get 60% off all recurring subscriptions at J60 Life, and you can unsubscribe at any time. So be sure and use that promo code. Also, guys, remember at jaysanalysis.com we have in the shop Esoteric Hollywood 3. It's still selling like hotcakes. We are down to, by the way, for those that are still waiting on their orders, I've gotten it down to 150. So we were over 400 orders, about 450, 500. I've gotten it down now to 150 left. So we're on the last 150. So if you haven't got it, that means it's coming soon. But you can get Esoteric Hollywood 3 right here in the shop, signed copies at jaysanalysis.com. You saw Kat Von D the other day was digging the book. She gave it to her husband. Her husband said that he was really digging it. He loved it. He thought it was cool. So, hey, Hollywood pop stars, they love it. They know I'm right. They know I'm on to something. Okay, I'm on a little bit of something over here. Esoteric Hollywood 3 signed copies in the shop at Jay's Analysis. You can also get started with Bitcoin with the Swan Bitcoin referral link in the show description. Bitcoin's at a discount. This is the time when everybody won't buy when they ought to, in my opinion. I can't tell you what to do. But when you get the dip, oh, I gotta sell it. It's gonna go to zero. And then when it goes back up to 120, 150, 200, oh, well, why didn't I buy it when it was 90,000? What? Rose says for $5, pro-Israel neocons are the biggest threat to traditional American values. Foreign lobbying and globalism erode all of our Christian foundations. That is correct. Chase Cross, $5. Do you find Protestants appealing to former theologians like C.S. Lewis in a form of veneration very similar to saints? Yeah, or the founding fathers, like or Israel. like evangelicals will treat Netanyahu, Benjamin Franklin, and C.S. Lewis like saints. Absolutely. Alter Void, $5. We're told to trust no CIA, but CIA whistleblowers aren't required to be CIA. Dog Meat B. Goonin, $5. I referenced you in a super chat. I mentioned it on a show that had 11,000 live viewers. I'm going to do that more often. You know, guys, that's actually a really good way to get exposure. And I don't know if you noticed, of course, Tim Gordon. Now, I was going to play this chick's video, but I started watching it, and all she does is go into body language. Candace's body language, Erika Kirk's body language. I'm just like, it's all just like speculation and people just reaching and trying for everything. Now, when Tim Gordon got Candace's husband to put the documentary on the site, as I understand, allegedly. I don't know all the details, right? So the documentary that I was in a year ago, which originally was shopped to Daily Wire. And of course, they didn't want to run it. I was like, they're not going to run that documentary. The documentary is produced by Tim Gordon. It is a good documentary. I don't agree with every opinion in it because it's coming from largely a Roman Catholic perspective. However, the documentary is about patriarchy. So Tim eventually got it on Candace's thing. So people started asking me, how are you? I didn't have anything to do with any of that. It was Tim shopping the documentary to who would run it. And so I didn't even realize this was happening. People were like, you're on Candace's thing. And I'm like, what are you talking about? I've never been on Candace's thing. What are you talking about? So it turns out the last few minutes, she refers to me as that guy. So yes, I am the guy. Okay. That she refers to as in the generic, that guy. I don't really care that I'm not explicitly, it's just funny to me to be that guy. Okay, so let's see. Where is the clip? Is this it? No, this isn't it. No, this is 4 days ago. Where is it at? Maybe it's this one. 3 days ago. Let's see. Yeah, here we go. So technically I was on here, but I was not named, which I don't know that really did me any good. But so 2.5 million people watch this thing. This is funny to me.
Calling everybody crazy and thinking that
Hold on, let me put it on the different view here. Yeah, watch this.
wins the argument. Laughter, elite laughter, like they're just in their private clubs, like maroon shirts, Egyptian planes. It's elitist and it's crap. When you learn the history of feminism, and I say this as someone who thought I was a feminist when I was young, then I learned the history and where it comes from and witchcraft and all of this stuff. It's quite stunning. I'm going to show you guys a little preview from this
Now that's Rachel's occult. I wonder if she read Rachel's book.
documentary, What a Woman Is. Take a listen.
It's been answered simply, a woman is not a man.
That's Tim Gordon.
But in our age, it's never been answered with any specificity what a woman actually is.
So the premise of the documentary is it's Nick Stumphauser that made that one. And the premise is Matt Walsh's famous documentary didn't actually answer what a woman is. Okay, that's the premise of this documentary. And I was like, dude, Daily Wire's not going to ever run that. I don't even know why you even asked them to do it.
The main thing that people need to grasp is that patriarchy is reality. You have no choice between patriarchy and no patriarchy.
Feminism is one of the key elements they had to do first to bring about all the other revolutions. So whether it's the 60s counterculture revolution or whether it's the biological trans revolution, all of that had to be preceded by the feminist revolution.
Who's that ponytail freak dude right there? Who's that weirdo? You want to know who it is? It's that guy.
First.
In marriage, the reason you can't have mutual submission is because there will be times in which decisions have to be made.
Anyway, you get the idea. You can go watch the trailer. It has Tim's wife in it. I don't know who this girl is here. I don't know who she is. Maybe she's that girl. If I'm that guy, she's that girl. I will say that I didn't actually think that Tim would get anyone to do run the documentary. So I'm kind of surprised that's why I didn't expect when people were messaging me, they're like, why are you on Candace's show tonight? And I'm like, what are you, not on Candace's show. What are you talking about? And then they're talking about, because Tim talked them into getting the documentary on her channel. And then she did an ad for it. And then here I am. I'm that guy. Exactly. Token black guy. Okay. Why is Candace not going to name this brother right here? Because she knows a diva when she sees one. She knows a diva when she sees one. Maybe she senses there's a diva competition here. Maybe there's a little bit of that going on, because I'm not Jay Dyer. I'm that guy. Excuse me? Do you think we all look the same? Excuse me? I have a name, okay?
You know, I wrote the book "Make Him a Sandwich" because once I started looking into the history of feminism, I was shocked. If you are a feminist, or you're like, oh, I always thought it was about equality between the sexes, which is what I thought. That was my default public school setting. Dig deeper. Challenge yourself to learn the history of the feminist movement, and what he is saying there is true. That was the first revolution that had to happen in order for all.
What he's saying. What that guy. Excuse me, I have a name, okay? I have a name. I ain't just him. I ain't just that guy. I have a name. I have a name. I'm just that guy. Just him. Just him. I have a name, girl. I have a name. Double says, debate Pope Leo. I would debate the Pope. I don't think the Pope wants to. The Pope don't want that smoke. Pope don't want no smoke. Kyle says, have you seen Age of Disclosure documentary? Is that alien crap? I have not. Anything alien's fake and gay, though, so I can tell you that. Best alien documentary is Mirage Men. Mr. Stacks, $10. You the man. That's what I'm talking about. See, people are starting to figure out who the real diva is. There was a diva here before Sweet Candace was on the scene. And it's your boy right here. Okay. Shazaroni. Jesus is Lord, but also Lord of Face Lords. That is technically correct. Okay, I'm trying to make sure I don't miss any super chats. Okay, Woodrow Drillson. You need to sample Black Kings. Where did you sample it from? Oh, you mean which of my streams did it come from? The one where I was talking about black bishops, black preachers, black bishops. That pimping used to be legal. Sometimes I make one or two streams every week for members. So I don't even remember all the streams, dude. I forget which ones. But all of the songs come from the random rants. So I don't even know, dude. Who knows, bro? Let me look on the lives and see if we can figure out. Because I might have put a pimp on there. Let's see. Or I might have made it members. Let's look and see if we can figure it out. The Papal Rave, that's not it. Kat Von D, that's not it. Candace, TPUSA, Evolutionary Fan Fiction, Professor Dave, that's not it. It might be this one with the black preacher on it. It might be that one. 6 days ago. Pope Respecter Runs. It might be that one. Black Kings. Black Bishops. Let's see if it's this one. In a Christian family. No, it can't be that one because it's already a song at the beginning of that one. So let's see. Let's go back further. I don't know, dude. There's so many live streams. There's so many hours. I can't even remember, man. I don't know. Sorry. Suzanne. No, we did that one. Noah Body, $2. Since we're on the topic of Calvary Chapel, did you look into Jack Hibbs and dispensationalism? I think we did look in that. Yeah. People love the chocolate persuasion. Rose says, I just announced. Wait, Rose Stewart says for $5, just announced private meeting between Candace and Erika. Oh, you're saying publicly this has just been announced. Interesting. Interesting. Yeah, I wonder what's going to come out of all this. This is just getting crazy, dude. This is the lore, the soap opera. Everybody's just caught up, man. Honey, it's a story. You know, it used to be, you watch your grandmama watch soap opera. She said, my stories. I got to watch my programs, my stories. Okay, now this is the stories. This the programs and the stories is this right here. Okay. All right. Everybody have a good Sunday. Thank you so much. A lot of fun tonight. Lucretia, black a hell name right now. Everybody have a good night.